All right. Hola. So today I am going to talk about some upcoming transits and talk a little bit about some things that are important regarding things that are going to be going on with the United States. So for those of you who do not know, any event in history has a natal chart. Any event. So when you establish a business, the day you get married, of course when you have children, right, because they get a natal chart, when you start a job, when you purchase things, right? So that's why people tell you during Mercury retrograde don't buy things, because Mercury represents electronics, and so it's basically dominant planet of that item would be in a bad space, in a weak space, I'll say, as far as astrological terms are concerned. So that wouldn't really be a good time, obviously, and that's why people tell you not to do that. Hey, so as far as with the upcoming transits, I'm going to be talking about something that's going to be happening with the United States. So the United States is actually a Cancer sun, right? And how would anybody come to that conclusion? Because the Declaration of Independence was signed July 4th, which is during Cancer season. So the United States is a Cancer sun. It's also has its nodes on the Capricorn Cancer axis. So with that being said, its north node is either a Cancer or Capricorn. I believe it's also Cancer. Yeah, it's Cancer. And that would mean that its south node is in Capricorn. So when all of those planets were in Capricorn, this is why there was so much going on. Like the news was like going crazy. There was so much going on because it was dealing with the south node of the United States. So that's when the United States natal chart basically began. And so we're going to be talking a little bit about that and how that is going to affect you, because that is like, it's important. Like, I don't think people consider like the astrology of where they live unless somebody really knows about astrology. Like, those are the people who go and get a reading on their astrocartography because they want to know where the best places for them to live based on their natal chart, which is something that I personally did. And I will say the things that I was told about living in that space were true. There were just some things I didn't like, and it kind of outweighed it for me. But you know, there are beneficial places for everybody. So as far as the United States, again, it's a Cancer sun country, and we're having a very, very major transit that's going to come up February of 2022, and so I'm going to be talking about that. But first, I'm going to talk about the Mercury retrograde that's coming up. Okay, the Mercury retrograde that's coming up is in Libra. I'm a natal Mercury in Libra, so shout out to me. But yeah, so Mercury in Libra. So Mercury, what does Mercury govern? What does a Mercury retrograde mean? This is basically a time when Mercury, it shifts where it is in the universe, in the galaxy, and for those 21 or so days, it's moving in the opposite direction, and it has been pretty much shown in a lot of spaces. A lot of people have taken notice that things tend to happen with Mercury ruled items. So Mercury rules cars, how you think, how you write, documents, school, all kinds of things is what Mercury governs. So its main word is communication, though. So Mercury governs communication, right? Okay, so it's going to be in Libra, okay, the sign of relationships. So I'm going to preface this to say, most people say during Mercury retrograde, oh, you know, people get fired and people have this and have this happen and have technical difficulties. It's like a common thing with Mercury retrograde, is technical difficulties and things of that nature. But yeah, but it's, of course, it does matter what sign it's in. That emphasizes it. That gives it more. That gives it its energy, so to speak. So it's going to be in Libra. Libra governs relationships. Libra governs contracts. Libra governs business partners, enemies, as well. If there was ever a time that somebody that you don't even want to be with no more, you stop thinking about, was going to call you during a Mercury retrograde, or whether it was Venus retrograde, which I've discussed in previous videos, it would be now. So relationships are going to get a shift over the time that Mercury's in retrograde. I believe the dates are 9/27 until 10/17, 18. Don't quote me. I will put it in the information when I post it on YouTube. But relationship stuff is going to be a little wacky. This is definitely not a time to get married or do a vow renewal or anything like it's just, it's a good time for like couples counseling and things like that, talking about your relationship. It's not a good time to try to take on a business partner. Hey, just definitely stay woke. Now, I will say this Mercury retrograde, right, during this Mercury retrograde, Mercury is going to be in harmony with Jupiter a little bit. So try not to eat too much, try not to spend too much money. But that could be a good time for self-introspection and some other things too. It's related. It's also going to be in a weird kind of angle to Pluto. And that is really about self-introspection, and you may just uncover some things that you really needed to know. And I think that will happen during this transit as well. I feel like some things will be revealed that have been put on the back burner. If I'm not mistaken, Neptune is still retrograde. So the veil, all the BS is being, it doesn't have the energy to cover up stuff as well right now. With Neptune being retrograde, I believe it should be going direct soon. If it didn't go, I'll have to look up the date. I'll just put the dates in the description box, okay? When I put this on YouTube. So, and also in the comments here. So, it's just it's a lot. I think the layers of certain relationships are going to be peeled back. And, Libra is about the scales, and if things are not adding up, there could be, the cancellation of certain relationships. Even like an ending of a subscription, like of a business. Like, it doesn't have to be super deep, but there are going to be some parts of this retrograde that are going to be deep. Like, yeah, you may decide, oh, I don't want to subscribe to that anymore. Cancel my subscription. But you could also do that with a person too. Okay, like it can go on, it depends on where it is in your chart. So definitely reach out to me if you want me to see where it's going to affect you. But that's the overall theme of Mercury in Libra. But I just know it's right. It's like there's a lot of stuff going on. Like, it's just a lot going on right now. And so I just can only imagine that the universe sprinkling on a Mercury retrograde is just so much. It's just so much. So there's that. So the other part that I want to talk about that is very serious, is the United States is going to be having its Pluto return in February 2022. So what does that mean? That means that Pluto is going to come back to the exact degree that it was at when the United States was formed, right? Well, Pluto takes 245 to 248-ish years or so to even transit the entire zodiac. So for it to come back to this point, it's pivotal. Not only that, I love astrological historians because I've done some research on, what happened when this transit happened in other societies and other nations. It was very revealing, because that is one of the things I'll say. If you want to study astrology and try to get a grasp of transits and how they'll affect you, look at the last time they were in that same sign, that same house, in the same area in your chart, same degrees, to see what to expect, essentially. And I think it's going to be major, because Pluto is a very intense planet already. It governs Scorpio. It's supposed to be the higher octave of Mars. And Pluto is like, Lord of the underworld. Like, I mean, you can go research the, Greek term for what Pluto was about. But it's all about transmutation, transforming, transmuting, even rebellion in some ways, and restitution. And it's a very deep planet, right? I feel like it's definitely what sets Scorpios apart from a lot of the zodiac, because it's just such a wild planet. Just like I think the same way about Neptune over Pisces. It's just such a weird planet and has some very interesting aspects to it. So anywho, we're gonna have our Pluto return. The last time, so when you go back in history and you see, well, what happened the last time we had our Pluto return? That was the formation of the Declaration of Independence, was during our Pluto return. So that's the type of energy we are walking into. And we know that Pluto being in Capricorn, this is a transformation of Capricorn. Capricorn energy is dominant. Capricorn energy is about business, about government, about people that are high up, about what else with Capricorn energy? About really business and economics on like a global level, like the CEO of this international company, and being in charge. But like I said, it's also the government. So it's like, what, like policies, even like laws, like what part of that needs to be uprooted and changed? And I feel like that's essentially what we can expect to be happening. There are going to be a lot of changes that are going to come up. And because we have so much energy in Aquarius, now Jupiter won't be there anymore. Saturn still will. And with Saturn being such a heavy planet, and there not being anything else heavy in Aquarius. Aquarius is the people. That's the community. That's the network, the groups, the protests. That's an Aquarian thing. Like a protest, like a very 11th house Aquarius all day. So that is essentially what I foresee, is that there are going to be protests about different laws. Now, Capricorn also rules elders. We have a very aged leader right now in our country. It's my nice way of saying that. And he's also male. So it's very possible that, something could happen with him, because Pluto does rule death also. So Pluto being there, coming to that exact degree with Aquarian energy there, Capricorn energy there, and then we will be actually right around the beginning of the sign of Pisces starting. The shift between Aquarius and Pisces starting in February of next year. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a major protest. If there was a mass, like people just decided they were going to just walk off their jobs, a lot of people aren't. They say that, that employment is lower than it should be. But I could see people getting fed up and maybe another government shutdown of sorts. But again, the last time this happened, they signed the Declaration of Independence. So I would not be surprised if there is a group that decides they are going to form their own government, or decide they want to butt heads with the government about things that have been going on. And there are other astrologers who have pointed to there being a forceful demand for reparations of people of different ethnic groups. That could be something that just raised up, and where if someone has created whatever, I don't know, a lawsuit, or they do something where they are coming against the government to try to get that information. out and to basically be like, they make, like, for instance, they may go to like the global courts to be like, hey, this is a global injustice, we deserve reparations, like, what's going on? You know, our people never got what they deserved. That could happen, something along those lines. Again, we could also see a fall of a leader, a shift of leadership in some form, some way, because again, that last time that this happened, leadership was actually initiated. There was no United States government prior to the last time. So I'm calm, but like, y'all, this is going to be a big deal. So February 2022. And I think the effects of that will last on, I mean, indefinitely. But we are in a space now where things will probably, I don't know if they'll ever be the same. I mean, things are just crazy. Can't believe I'm even living like in this society right now. It's kind of wild, some of the things that are going on. However, we came here at this time to do something. So, I just, I'm going to send positive vibes out around that. However, yes, there will be some major changes that go on in February when the United States has their Pluto return. And like I said, I'm 99% sure that this is going to be opposing the North Node. So it's like women, I don't know, it could be a feminist revolution of some sort, where women are just like, look, we're tired of blah, 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 whatever manifesto. Or we get a female president, which is very possible if our very old president were to go bye-bye. So I wanted to show you guys also that I'm going to put this on YouTube. Yeah, I think it's possible. I think it's very possible. Or some type of rebellion of some kind that could come up. Yeah, something is brewing. Okay. So I actually decided to go into the beauty industry, and I designed my own eyeshadow palettes. And so I wanted to show you guys the Marie Laveau eyeshadow palette that came out first. But Malaya, I agree with that. I could totally see that happening. Oh, never mind. So yes, here are the eyeshadow colors. I used them today on my face. I used Shrine, Bones, Big Easy, and Queen on my eyes today. Yeah, I can see that being a very serious probability, because we know how much hate of women goes on in this country, and I could totally see that happening. And I have on Wealth. So this is my lipstick. So you guys definitely go out to my website, glamalchemy.com/glam, if you want to get to the makeup section. See, Mercury Retrograde is already on me. So I wanted to show you guys that. But yeah, it's a very serious situation. So Pluto does deal with therapy and psychology. So please be working on your, like, I don't care if you feel like you're mentally, oh, I'm fine, like, I don't have any health problems. Like, work on your spiritual life. Work on, like, praying, meditating. I think that's going to be very important when the Pluto return comes around, because it's not going to be good to panic. Pluto is not the type of energy that you need to panic around. Like, you need to be one with Pluto. You don't want to be the one panicking, because Pluto will take out whatever it sees as being weak. And yeah, like I was saying, there is a class from Marie Laveau if you want to learn more about her, some more history about her. There is a class, and if you take the class, you will be entered in a contest to win a free eyeshadow palette. So now I'll be announcing the winner for that October 15th, because the class is 10/1. So there is that. But yeah, Mercury retrograde, you guys, please stay woke. That really dumb ex that you don't like, I forgot about this person 10 years ago, they might hit you up. You might run into them. Like, that's another thing with Mercury retrograde. Like, you could run into them. Yeah, especially if you have like Libra on your north or south node, something karmic can happen. So again, if you're interested in me looking at your chart, please let me know. You can inbox or email me, but just a little common sense reminder, because we're not always thinking clearly during Mercury retrograde or even during the shadow period. Please be reminded of how that person treated you before you rush back to try to mend a relationship, even a friendship that really shouldn't be restored. You know? Because when you do stuff during Mercury retrograde, it usually doesn't stick. And then it just kind of sucks. Because it's like, you'll be like, I knew better. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have tried to solidify that during the retrograde. And you did. And then, depending on, again, where it is in your chart. But more than likely, in this case, with it being in Libra, no, I wouldn't do it. I would wait until after the retrograde is over to make any decisions. Oh, no. Yeah, you need to, we need to look at your chart. We need to look at your chart and see what's going on with that. I was talking to, so I was talking about the Pluto return of the United States coming up in February, and I talked about Mercury retrograde. But I'm going to, this video will be here, of course, and then I'm going to upload this video to YouTube, so you can always go back and look at it again. Oh, I don't know. You might get fed up during this transit too because of that. So, like I said, we gotta stay prayed up. We gotta stay prayed up out here. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. This was your mini astro forecast. I will definitely be updating. Okay. I will be updating my YouTube channel with this video. And like I said, the color I have on my lips is Wealth. It's Wealth. There's the color that I have on. So definitely support. Check me out. All of the colors are named after money themed words to pretty much give that vibe of money. Yeah. All right, well, thank you guys for tuning in. I will be uploading this to YouTube. YouTube, don't be mad that my Facebook followers got this first. And I will see you guys on the flip side. Thank you for checking me out, and I hope you enjoyed your astro forecast. Peace.